So I've had the benefit of seeing just what they go through as far as discrimination, disparities in everything, healthcare included, but just in general in life, and coaching them through that. Because though half the problem might be society, the other half of that problem is empowerment, needing to feel like no matter what anyone throws at you, that you are equal and that you have the same rights as anyone else. So that's the work that I've been doing, the same rights to happiness, the same rights to equality, respect, everything that we're all fighting for on some level. So I'm happy to be doing this presentation on sensitivity training because it's like I'm working the other side of the room, so to speak, okay? Everyone here, are you just in the medical field? So what other, may I ask what other field you were in?
I'm in manufacturing, and I actually have an employee that presented himself as transitioning.
Okay.
So anything I can see on the subject, I tend to follow because we've had people come and do training as well to the management team. Eventually we roll out to the population once he transitions from it. But we're waiting for his cue as to what to do for next steps.
Wonderful.
So that's why I'm here.
Thank you for being here. And you?
Small pharma.
Okay.
I'm gay myself, and I don't know what the I and A are.
Yeah, I just learned last year. Okay. And anyone else here in the back? Hi, Becky.
No, banking.
Oh.
Banking, financial services.
Oh, okay. Banking, okay, gotcha. I'm glad you're here because this, this is geared towards the medical profession, but it's applicable to all fields, to all businesses, okay? Anyone else who is, yes?
Real estate development.
Ah, and what brought you here?
Because we do low-income military and student housing.
Ah, makes sense. Very good. Okay, and everyone else is healthcare. Okay, so let's get started. So as you know, this is a sensitivity training. And so what are the objectives? To help define the term LGBTQIA, because as some people mention, how many of you know what the Q, the I, and the A is? Or any of those?
Q, I know, but the I and the A.
Okay, the I and the A is a big one for a lot of people. So the concerns of LGBTQIA patients in this case. But where I can, I mean, our time is limited, I'm going to try to, fan it out to other areas as well, okay? The strategies to create an LGBTQIA inclusive and welcoming practice, intake forms, and that's specific to the medical profession, patient confidentiality, okay? So what does it all mean? LGBTQIA. People are clueless, okay? They're not just random letters, and it's not another language. Each letter means something. So let's get to it. Lesbian is a female-identified person who is attracted physically, emotionally, or romantically to another female-identified person. The key words that I want you to focus on are female-identified. To you, they may not even look like the norm of what a female would look like, but they are female-identified. Gay, there's a typo here, so let me correct this now. A male or female-identified person who is attracted physically, emotionally, or romantically to a person of the same sex. Oh, actually, I corrected it. Okay, so bisexual, individuals attracted to men and women physically, emotionally, or romantically. And this is just a review real quick. As you see, lesbian, a woman who is sexually and romantically attracted to other women. Gay is the term used to refer to both men and women sexually attracted, romantically attracted to persons of the same sex. Bisexual, a person who is romantically and sexually attracted to both men and women. And transgender, that's an umbrella term used to describe a person who experiences his or her gender in a way that varies along a continuum from masculine to feminine. And we'll discuss that as we go on. So back to the rest of the definitions. Transgender, we just discussed. Transsexual, individuals who have physically altered their body in order to match better their gender identity, which is the person who you described. Queer, now that's the Q. It's an all-inclusive term that references lesbians, gay men, bisexuals, trans people, and intersex persons. Anyone who is different from the norm, okay? What society recognizes as the norm, and that is changing. Now the Q also represents questioning. Anyone who's questioning any of these things, anyone who's questioning their identity, anyone who's questioning their sexuality. So those people we have to be sensitive to and not just want to put them in box A or box B. Okay, and that's really the challenge. If we can overcome that challenge, then we're already ahead of the game. Everything else kind of falls into place with less resistance and more naturally. So maybe that's the first conversation to take back into your workplace. And take back, period, as you leave the door. Because it's really about, why do we need to question? Why do we need to have people in a box? And I really think it's about because we want to be able to relate to them. I need to know how to relate to you. Are you a male or female? If you're anything in between, I can't even talk to you. And what kind of sense does that make? The person is still human. So that's the point that we're driving home today. 7, this is the I. I represents intersex, a person with physical sex characteristics that are neither exclusively male nor exclusively female. And I don't know what that looks like, and neither do you. So just be open to the fact that it's someone who has characteristics, male and female. To what degree? It's as God made them, okay? Asexual, a person who is not attracted to anyone or does not have any sexual orientation. And A also represents ally, a person who does not identify as LGBTQIA, but supports the rights and safety of those who do. So I'll be taking questions at the end. So, you can make a note of your questions because I'm sure some will come up. So what are the patient's concerns? Basically, as far as the community, the one concern is that I don't want my doctor to know because I fear they will treat me different. So here are some stats based on, this was a survey done in Minnesota, but I chose it because it's very typical nationwide. The stats are not very different state to state. So let's say 62% of LGBTQIA people are out to their doctors. And then the rest is a mix. Some of them are not out. Some of them don't know. They're not sure. When it comes to choosing a doctor, some of them don't have a doctor. And a lot of them wait before they seek medical care. A lot of them will actually seek medical care in the emergency room versus going to a doctor because they don't have a primary. When it comes to insurance coverage, many of the LGBTQIA community are not covered. That is changing, but that presently is the status. So I just want to say here, whatever business you're in, whether it's medical, banking, real estate, there is a market, there is an opportunity for you to serve people who don't necessarily come out. They're not necessarily visible. So you may have to work a little to let them know, hey, I see you, I want to include you in my practice. I want to bring you into my business, I want to serve you. And that takes some effort. But it's all about making that connection. Okay, not necessarily treating them exactly the same because their needs are different. Okay, but it's letting them know, you know what, I see you and I'm interested in you and I want to serve you. Okay, so patient sensitivity training, why do we need it? A lot of doctors refuse treatment. Once they realize they have someone that they can't relate to, it's all about relatability, I can't see you, I'm going to have to refer you out, okay? There are even therapists, and you would think a therapist should be able to treat everybody, right? But a therapist, there are many therapists who say, I can't treat you, I can't help you, I'll give you a referral though. Okay, so that's what we want to change. Give everyone the skills that they need so that they can treat someone. 1 in 10 staff have heard colleagues say, someone can be cured of being lesbian, gay, or bi. Do you think that's really relevant? Are we looking for a cure of our sexuality, our gender identity? No, I got a broken leg. Can you fix it? No, I got these gas pains. Can you handle that? We're coming to you for medical help. We're going to your bank so that we can put our money somewhere. We're coming to you so we can find housing. If I wanted to be cured, I wouldn't come to my banker. I wouldn't come to my real estate agent, my broker. I wouldn't come to my doctor. I wouldn't perhaps go to a psychiatrist. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people with just basic medical issues. So deal with what the patient presents. You know, oftentimes we have a conversation in our head, oh, this person, you know, I don't know why they're like that. They need to go to church more. They need to probably, maybe I can give them a third. No, just stick to what they presented. So there's one other thing I want to cover. 3 in 5 staff with direct responsibility for patient care don't believe that sexual orientation is relevant to health care. How many of you actually agree with that? And it's okay to state so. Right, sexual orientation, that's a part of your intake. You need to know what is their life, what is their life activity about? Who are they having? What kind of sexual behavior are they engaging in? Because based on that, you might need to do some more intensive screening. Okay, so it's not something that you leave where out there. No, bring it here, sit in front of me, let's talk. Who are you? Get to know your patient, get to know your customer. Okay, because it even is relevant in banking, and as you said, it's relevant in your industry, where you're finding housing for various sectors. So, hold on. Here are the subsequent health risks when it comes to not giving the LGBTQIA segment of the population the kind of care that they deserve. They end up avoiding health exams. They find going to the doctor a stressful event, ineffective. You know, I remember when I was young and just come out, maybe I was actually 18, 19. I was so stressed out about going to the gynecologist because that one question, you know, have you had intercourse? Like, how do I answer that? Well, no, I'm gay. And then waiting for the response. And back then, the response was, you know, even though she tried to make it less visible so that she could just move on to the next thing, I saw her cringe. You know, if it were male doctors, it was the same thing. I'd always see the effect of my sexuality on them. And it deterred me from getting the exams that I needed. So there's no strong connection to the doctor. They self-medicate with alcohol, smoking, etc. A greater risk of mental health care going unchecked. Health issues go unmonitored. They're at higher risk for cancer, addiction, sexually transmitted diseases, unwanted pregnancies. Health history is constantly being told to new doctors. That's exhausting. So conduct a self-assessment in your practice. Are we welcoming or not? 5 inclusive strategies. Make patients feel safe. Help them feel seen, visible, affirmed. Give them a friendly environment. Help them feel empowered for who they are, not who we want them to be. Deliver the same standard of care and attention to LGBTQIA patients as all others. and ask permission before examining or touching, and explain the what, why, and how to follow. I mean, that's common sense, you would think. Okay, don't just, let me see what's going on under there. You know, talk to them. Tell me what your problem is. Do you mind if this is what I'm going to do? You know, let them feel comfortable. Allow patients to self-identify rather than assuming you know what gender they are. Respect and remember the pronouns they identify with. Okay, so here are some quick ways in which we can make it a welcoming environment. A rainbow flag or some other equality symbol on the front door, letting LGBTQIA patients know that they're welcome. Photos of LGBT people and families posted right along with photos of other families. That's going to make them feel welcome, like you know what you're doing. Posters or other artwork focusing on LGBTQIA people or issues of concern to this population. And include at least one publication for the community to read, periodicals for patients. I've never seen one in all my visits. Throw it in the mix. Single stall bathrooms marked as gender neutral. Now that's a whole conversation we can have, okay? Welcoming intake forms, okay? On your intake forms, are you male or female? Well, there are other classifications. So think about that. Gender queer is one of them. Just explore. There are many different options besides just the norm, hetero, male, female. You got to open it up for people. And here's an example of an LGBTQIA sensitive intake form. I'm just going to go right to sexual orientation, identity. Look at all the choices: bisexual, gay, heterosexual, lesbian, queer, or other. Not sure, don't know. Give them those two options too. What safer sex methods do you use? Do you need any information about safer sex? If yes, with men, women, or both? Okay, so moving right along. So the power of the intake form, it contributes heavily to the client's perception of you and how much you care about them, okay? And it reflects whether you're actually LGBTQIA inclusive or whether you're just talking. This way, with the intake form, you're walking that talk. It influences the patient's compliance with their future treatment program. If I don't think that you care about me, I'm probably not going to listen to you, even though it's for my own good. I'm probably not going to come back to your bank. I'm probably going to find another realtor that makes me more comfortable, okay? And it may play a factor in whether a patient will return to your office or any other medical office in the near future or any other business such as yours in the near future. So leave a positive impression. And it's life affirming. That is it. So, you know, it's really hard to distribute this information in 15, 20 minutes, but I hope you get an idea of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give everyone the information that they need so that the community can feel welcome at all businesses, and that you can actually do what you've come to do, which is make people feel better, help people with abundance, help people find housing. And you, someone such as you, caring about who we have in our office, our employees. Happy employees make for a prosperous and happy company. So I know I sound all Mr. Rogery, but if you have any questions, this is your time.